This one is for the UFC London main event, Tom Aspinall against Curtis Blaydes. Of course, it's a massive opportunity for Tom Aspinall, but it's also a really risky fight because Blaydes is dominant when it comes to wrestling. He's landed 62 takedowns overall in his UFC career, which is outstanding, and it puts him at the very top of the takedown leaderboard for heavyweights. It also puts him in the top 10 of all the weight classes, and he's the only heavyweight in there. Everybody else in there is welterweight and below. So you're looking at a heavyweight that's walking onto the scales at the limit, and he's got an output for takedowns that is comparable to the likes of Colby Covington, which is amazing when you think about it. You know, when he fought Volkov, he landed 14 takedowns. He got Mark Hunt with 10 takedowns. Now, Tom Aspinall's got 100% takedown defense. He's very, very difficult. He's very fleet of foot. He's very agile. He's very confident as well, which allows him to stay relaxed and to react immediately instead of being tense and overthinking it and then, stalling yourself and getting caught. I do expect him to be under some wrestling pressure though in this fight, especially if it goes past the first couple of minutes. Tom's record is 12-2 with 9 knockouts and 3 submissions, so he's not going the distance in his fights. His 2 losses are both in the second round. One of them's a DQ for downward elbows, and the other one's a heel hook. Never been past the second round. So if I'm Curtis Blaydes, knowing I can land 14 takedowns in 25 minutes, then I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to drag this fight into the later rounds and at least put Tom in a position where he's never been before. Second of all, Tom is a very fast, explosive fighter that it hits hard and has got good submission skills. So the longer this fight goes, the more they will hopefully fade if you're Curtis Blaydes. And the more you force him to wrestle and defend and expend energy, the more his arms are going to fill up with lactic acid, dealing with a 265-pound wrestler, and then everything becomes more problematic, from throwing punches to squeezing submissions. Blaydes on the other side, 16-3 is his record. He's got 11 TKOs on his record. The majority of the time, it's about putting somebody on the ground and smashing them to bits with elbows. He's got wicked elbows, very, very dangerous. From every position, he can land an elbow that will cut you open and will be the beginning of the end of the fight. What he did to Overeem was, you watch one elbow and you see the cut open, you think to yourself, I hope he doesn't have to take any more of these. But in the moment, you can't stop him landing 3 or 4 more because of his speed and his power and his control of the bang, bang. That is a real danger for Tom Aspinall if ever he finds himself in the bottom position in this. Blaydes, on the other hand, although of course he comes from a wrestling background and that is his main strength, he does have decent striking. We've seen his striking develop, and because whenever he steps forward on his opponent, they expect him to level change. He's got that secondary attack where he can freeze them for a moment, he can step forward and they drop their hands and he can hit them with the 1-2, and then he can step forward like he's going to punch and level change. Like giving him those basic punches has really served his game well. And against Chris Daukaus, we saw not only is he able to now start landing these punches clean, we saw it in JDS fight as well, he's now starting to land them precisely as well. He's now starting to land them efficiently against strikers who I would consider to be, technically better than him. Daukaus and JDS, I would say they're both better boxers overall. Technically, if you watch them hitting the bag or hitting pads or sparring, you would look at them and go, well, they've got the better hands. But because of the lack of emotion, the lack of desire to really do damage, the way that he throws them is efficient. He places his punches, but because he's a heavyweight and because he's throwing them with good technique, they're landing and they're knocking people out. Tom's takedown offense is 100%. Curtis' takedown offense is 33%. Sometimes good wrestlers just don't expect people to even try, because why would they? Because my wrestling's so good. Tom may have the skills and the power and the surprise factor to be able to ground this fight, and then that puts Curtis in a really awkward position where he might be turning and scrambling and defending his neck in positions that other people in training can't put him in. Who's out wrestling Curtis in the gym? I don't know whether he's got people around him that can do that. So Curtis is the leader for control time. He's got 1 hour and 20 minutes of control in the top position. But then Tom, on the flip side, is the number 1 leader in the heavyweight division for no time spent on the bottom. 0% time. So that might be something that's under pressure in this one. It's going to be a great fight and another great main event for UFC London. The whole card's good. I've done a breakdown for Chris Curtis against Jack Hermanson. I've also done one for Paddy Pimblett against Jordan Levitt. If you haven't seen them, make sure you check them out. And leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know who you think is going to win and how. I think we've all got big expectations for Tom, but I also think we all know deep down, as much as everybody in London at the arena is going to be on Tom Aspinall's side, they're all going to be holding their breath in those moments, those first 30 seconds, to see if Curtis Blaydes can ground him. And if he can, it might be a very deflating evening for everybody in there. We'll see. It's either going to take the roof off it or the roof's going to come in. One or the other. I'm looking forward to it, though. Catch you next time.